Buenos dias a todos. Hello and welcome everybody. And thanks for joining Expansivo 2020 in its digital fashion. My name is Giuseppe Delmonte, founder and CEO at CAD Service, an info solution partner company. I'm your presenter of this session, which is based on OpenCAD and on the value of making EAM more visual. So I will go through several sections today, starting from the power of visualization, which was the original idea to create OpenCAD for InfoEAM. And then I'll touch base with CAD integration and what's the value of bringing drawings within EAM for locating your asset and displaying work orders condition as well. Particularly, I want to share also the benefit of using PDF documents for creating parts in EAM and also matching the EAM part ID with the manufacturer part number. And finally, I would like to introduce the value of the BIM technology from an EAM standpoint and how you can take advantage of using the BIM metadata and 3D visualization for managing your infrastructure more strategically. All right, so let me talk a little bit about the power of visualization, which is essential, I would say. And so I'm also very pleased to say a visual EAM is worth 1,000 words. Here there are a couple of key points I would like you to focus on here. The first is the CAD support and the second is BIM. Both of them are OpenCAD components, which are the products we designed for InfoEAM and Info provides globally. Also, OpenCAD is part of the installation of InfoEAM so that it can be made available in any mode for operation and installation, local, on-prem, multi-tenant SaaS, single-tenant SaaS, and so on. This approach supports the notion that OpenCAD will be a component of EAM now and well into the future, thus giving the tool to grow into global verticals of changing needs. We recently named the Info Top 10 Solution Providers 2019. I'm, of course, really proud of that. And I just wanted to thank Info for all the support and belief in me and the company. None of this would have been possible without that. So today I'll be focused on the OpenCAD first and then on the OpenCAD BIM. And just to start this presentation, I wanted to introduce with a very short video about the value of incorporating drawings in EAM in order to locate the asset graphically and to see the work orders condition as well. So let's start watching this video, which allows you to understand how it's easy to associate the drawing with your component. OpenCAD uses your AutoCAD drawings as they are. So basically you can see the drawing just as having AutoCAD inside within EAM. You can also take advantage of tagging your component in the drawing, and then you can search objects from the EAM database. You can run queries based on EAM data. So just in this example, you can locate your asset into the drawing, differentiating them based on the EAM classes, for example. So this is the display asset condition capability, which allows you to have a color code result. But again, even more important, we can use the query for locating work orders, and then you can easily search certain equipment. You can use the right-click option for creating work orders. So as you can see, now we created the first work order. We are now creating a second one with the quick work order way. Those work order have different work order type, so we can actually are able to display the work order condition, and the two different work orders type has been colored differently, which is extremely important for locating your work order. But now let's start from an existing equipment. You can actually understand the data, and clicking on the OpenCAD tab, you can jump immediately on where the asset is located in your drawing. So let's search from that particular pump, and you can see where the object is located. So the question is, how does a visual EAM help? I will go through a few examples to touch base with you guys about the value of having a visual EAM. Navigating complex infrastructure is key. So associating your drawings within EAM and using them for drilling down from the top to the desired equipment is now possible. Nice. So, but again, what about navigating complex assets? Combining the tabular data of EAM with the visual components of OpenCAD helps bring about the very best in both worlds, as work transaction, condition data, and inspection. So here could be nice to see that the fact that we can visualize quantitatively like condition ratings and qualitative like survey results data in a drawing, illustrating how we can help customers more intimately understand their aging infrastructure. Finding data built out in EAM, they can be seen in OpenCAD so that thematic condition of why the equipment is degrading the way it is can be understood. But also, our EAM tracks everything you own, lease, and rent, and makes the data visible to you in different forms. Of course, it is really nice and effective, but it can be time-consuming as well. So again, navigating your facilities from a campus level down to a building floor and then locating the room is now very easy and super fast with EAM OpenCAD. In fact, if you click on this building circle here, you can jump on the second level of the drawing, which represent the building facade, in which you can find the tag for going to the floor plan associated with. So that's the final step of discovering the third level of the drawing and accessing to the floor plan that you want to explore with EAM. The benefit of exploring the floor plan graphically is great for different reasons. For example, we can differentiate objects based on any of EAM data. We can also use the graphic search for locating work orders and then setting the color for displaying a work order condition, as we already saw in the previous example. But in both cases, we can print out the result using the PDF report capability of the product. Space management is part of the visualization tool, which is extremely important. We can set up and we can adopt industry standards for measuring offices building. EAM and OpenCAD can be configured accordingly. It was recently certified by the Facility Management Association in Germany, EAM and OpenCAD together, which is extremely important for us. I'm very happy and proud of that. Space planning is considered the foundation to initiate the space chargeback strategy. Identifies who occupies a space, or if spaces are empty, is mandatory for managing more efficiently your buildings. Making the result visual helps. Seeing is believing. So finally, one of the most interesting benefits of incorporating your drawings might be the way of creating or to initiate the equipment creation using your drawing. That's really nice. It is part of the OpenCAD product right now. So let me just explain how the system works. So you can actually start from the top level of your hierarchy. You can, in this case, we are not talking about facilities. We are talking about P&IDs and asset and position hierarchies. We can associate the P&ID drawings here, and then by incorporating the drawing, we can actually run the inventory procedure, which is part of the OpenCAD product. And then we can select the entire content of the drawing or just a part of it for creating the objects accordingly, and the structure as well, which is great. But I mean, not just for the first creation, but even for making changes to your infrastructure, because again, EAM and the drawings are totally integrated thanks to EAM and OpenCAD. So, for example, if you will start a phase of making changes in the drawing, and for supposing you want to remove 3 components from the drawing, you can do it. You can run the inventory procedure again. The procedure will recognize that the 3 objects are not present in the drawing anymore, but they are still EAM asset, and then allows you to set the 3 different components as out of service, because as you know, we cannot erase, we cannot delete asset from the database, or maybe you can change the status accordingly. So finally, accepting this process, the EAM asset will be changed and removing 3 components from production to out of service. So obviously, not just floor plan drawings, but we were mentioning also P&ID drawings, which are extremely and commonly used in your infrastructure. And here we can say that even the P&IDs drawing comes to play in a different way. Identify and report deficiencies is now easier. Make your drawings being part of EAM queries for accurate analysis showing a visual result. Now it's also important here to say that the color code result doesn't pertain to the drawing, but it pertains to EAM. So it is the EAM function that brings the color on top of the drawing. So you don't have to make changes in the drawing from time to time. That's really important. Safety. Safety is always a top priority. So making permit to work visual makes absolutely sense to me. The permit requester checks on a geographical overview, which is the permit to work dashboard. Whenever there are other permits already planned for the same asset at the same time, the overview shows also permits planned plus the permit type, hot and cold. Already planned permits in status ready for assessment can be opened from the screen to view permit details, which is possible clicking here on the record or even clicking on the hyperlink that shows the permit to work. But wait, there is something more. If you click on a certain permit to work, the map interacts with the LOTO points, so the LOTO isolation points and safety zone where the permit work will take place, which is, I would say, essential for managing safety more efficiently. So now we are talking about the APC, that stands for Electronic Part Catalog. Now I will go through several examples here in order to show how EIM and OpenCAD allows you to create parts within EIM by using a PDF document provided by your supplier. So adding or associating parts in EIM via the Electronic Part Catalog. This is the step by step. We start from importing a PDF which normally contains different pages. You have the ability here to select your page, your desired page. Normally this Electronic Part Catalog contains both a part list and exploded view. And so the ability of the system is to discover the entities inside the part list, and then you can take advantage of reading those data for creating parts in EIM. But first of all, we want to make sure you are able to validate this process. So this table is a user-defined table which allows you to complete your validation process. And from here you can invoke the Flex SQL, which is provided out of the box, in order to create the objects, the part within EIM, and to associate those parts to the equipment from where you started this process. The second part of the solution allows you to use the exploded view for managing work orders and for being able to have your material list visible here, from which you can select each of the parts that you already created in EIM for doing the planning or for issuing the parts from the store. And once you completed this process, you have the ability to check out the process, and all the transaction will be provided to the parts tab of the work order. All right, let's talk a little bit about building information modeling integrated with Info Cloud Suite EIM. Building information modeling is a broad term that describes the process of creating and managing digital information about a built asset, such as building, bridge, highway, tunnel, and so on. In my opinion, there are a few key points to sharpen the benefit of adopting the BIM technology. For sure, because it contains data that can be assessed and exported for other uses during the lifetime of the building, so especially for facility management and operation. It is an open digital data sharing for transforming the design, delivery, and operation of tomorrow's asset. And to me, open and shareable information unlocks more efficient, transparent, and collaborative ways of working throughout the entire life cycle of built asset. Above all, BIM facilitates collaboration among all stakeholders, from early design to the operation and maintenance, and even to the commissioning phase, and thereby holds out the promise of large efficiency gains. All stakeholders can contribute information to and extract information from the central model by providing a lifelong view of construction projects, including the TCO. It offers owners great benefits in the commissioning and operation phase and enables new business models, particularly in the asset management area, which is, by the way, where OpenCAD BIM comes to play. It is now available in the EAM offering, and why OpenCAD BIM is good for me. There are a few of key points I would like you to focus on here. The first is the ability to bring BIM models within EAM. The second is ingesting BIM metadata for creating asset. The third is empowering the work planning and execution. So, how does the BIM model work within EAM? So basically, we are using the IFC, which is the industry foundation classes. It's a standard, it's a fully open and international standard for exchanging data in the BIM methodology. And so this is the reason why we are 100% compliant with all the BIM platform, and then we can integrate models coming from Revit rather than Bentley or ArchiCAD. Info EAM has an OpenCAD BIM utility which allows you to import and upload the IFC model within EAM, so allowing you to surface the BIM model within EAM where the customers see the value. This slide was based on the experience we had so far and on the customer's feedback and expectation as well. I think it represents quite well where the customers see the value. We may have 3 pillars, I would say. For sure, the value of using the BIM metadata to create equipment is recognized as a main goal in every project, but also the enhanced 3D visualization helps, especially to empower work planning and execution in your daily operation. I'm very excited to introduce a few of the many benefits of using the virtual interface of OpenCAD BIM for Info Cloud Suite EAM. The first is, as I mentioned before, the out-of-the-box feature to associate and create EAM entities with BIM components consuming their data. But even more interesting is regarding, understanding the physical and functional relationship between equipment. I mean, this is a dream that come true. Just by selecting an asset, you may have the ability to see how it interacts with the physical, so the space associated with, or even better, the functional which is normally the system, and then understanding how it operates. Wouldn't it be great to navigate in your complex infrastructure with the ability to eliminate the visual barriers and then to discover what happens behind the wall? A model of efficiency and cost containment, starting from a work order, from a given piece of equipment, you are capable of show the location of the equipment, show the adjacent similar equipment in the model, display open and pending work orders on adjacent equipment, and empowers work planning and execution, but also limiting the trips to site and enable work requiring similar skills, tools, and paths to be grouped and executed at once.